Today I'm going to be showing you how to do this pumpkin score on pumpkin spice sourdough. I got this recipe from Kelly Welk. I will go ahead and link her video down below so you can see the instructions and the recipe for yourself. This video is just about the scoring though. This is a great loaf for doing more intricate scores on because it holds its shape really well. I did add 80 grams of water. When I made it the first time, I was going along and adding water as I went because it was drier than hers looked. And this time I just went ahead and added 80 from the beginning. So if yours isn't looking quite like hers as you follow her instructions, just add a little more water. Believe it or not, there's no bulk proof on this. You shape and put it straight in the fridge. She explains it all. I explain the scoring, and let's get into this. Full confession, I started to film this and then I realized I hadn't put my string on before I flipped it out of the Banneton. So this is going to look a little bit different than it normally does. The string, it's soaking in oil. A suggestion would be to put your strings in there one at a time instead of all in a big lump. It just is easier to separate them out. Like I'm doing right now, they don't tangle as bad. And I am squeezing the excess oil out as I go. Trying to get these as even as possible, even across the middle, and then even from side to side, because these are setting the stage for the other two coming up. Often I do my pumpkin loaves in 6 quadrants with 3 strings, but I'm going to do it in 8 today. Whoop, that dipped back in there. I've never had a problem with the oil making any issue on the bread. I had seen one YouTuber who suggested for her pumpkin loaves, she rolls the strings in flour. I don't do that. I think it's more work than doing it this way. And while I like doing beautiful scoring, I also like to not spend any more time than I have to. And now I'm going to take my bread sling. I'm going to put it over top of that. If you just have parchment paper, that's fine. You don't need a bread sling. This just makes it a little bit easier getting it in and out of the oven. You also don't need a turntable. I have it for convenience sake so I can spin it, but you can spin your parchment paper. Flip it over. Now you're going to see, I'm going to get these all even sticking out here, but you're going to see that I have already put rice flour on this because when I did that initial filming where I had forgot to put the string in first, I had already put the rice flour on, so it's already coated in rice flour. Just going to get these out now while I've got the Banneton kind of holding the loaf secure. So we're already coated in rice flour. I'm going to go rinse the oil off my fingers. Well, I rinsed that a little early because I still have to tie these. So I'm going to start with one. I'm just going to do it not too tight here. I don't want to compress the crumb too much. Because this loaf didn't do a traditional bulk proof, I don't want to squeeze it down even more because I have a feeling that it's going to be tight crumble. I know it was before, and I'm just going to make it tighter if I squeeze this down too much. So you notice I slid it there to get the ends even so that I could meet them to tie. That's really loose, a little looser than I'd like, but we're going to roll with it. Do I have enough here? I do, so I don't need to tie that one. And now I'm going to take the last one, make sure I'm not, see how they're uneven? I'm going to pull it so that they're more equal on top. And now I'm just going to reach them underneath here, tie the whole thing together, gather them up together, and then use that last string underneath to tie them all in a nice little bundle. And I'm going to go ahead and knot it. And now I'm going to pick all of these up. I'm a little concerned about this oil going all over this loaf, but it'll probably be fine. I'm going to take a pair of scissors here, and I'm just going to cut them off down close. All right, now it's time to score. Let me wash the oil off my hands again. I brought you in a little bit closer for the scoring. So what I'm going to do here, to keep it from splitting my wheat stalks that I'm going to make is I'm going to go along the edge with being careful not to cut through the string, and I'm going to make a cut right next to the string on each side. That was a little further away than I would have liked it. Getting these pretty deep. Not super deep right now because I want to be able to score the rest of it without it splitting completely open. Because this is dense and more compact loaf, it is much easier to score with more intricate scores. So if you think of something real fancy you'd like to do, this pumpkin spice loaf is a good one to do it with. It holds up pretty well. All right, and now I'm gonna come and do a nice deep line down each middle. I raised the temperature of my oven just a little bit. It's preheating with the Dutch oven in it, lid off, to 450 degrees right now. This one, I did not meet those two splits at the top. I'm going to correct that now. All right. And now on each side of these splits here, I'm just going to do a little wheat stalk. And I'm going to make sure these lines are more up and down than out. I'm getting the wheat stalks pretty deep. Oven spring will open these up better. And the last one. Now I'm going to put this, lifting it by the bread sling handles, which is why I like this thing so well. I'm going to set it down in my Dutch oven. I'm going to put the cold lid on top. I'm going to slide it back into that 450 degree oven. I'm going to bake it for 40 minutes, and we will see you with the par bake. I was going to just go ahead and do it on my own and not film it, but I'm going to make the lines around here deeper. So before it goes into the oven, I'm going to very carefully deepen the lines that are around the string. I didn't do this initially because I didn't want them to really spread while I was scoring. Can't remember where I was. Is this the one I was working on? I don't know that they would have with this dough, but I'd rather err on the side of caution. I believe I got it. Okay, now it's going to go in the oven. Let's take a look at oven spring after 40 minutes at 450. Oh, that's pretty. That's beautiful, actually. So even though it didn't do a bulk ferment, it still has just puffed up really nicely. Smells really good. I wish you could smell this. This is going to be delicious. I know from past experience this is delicious. I'm going to put this back in the oven for another 20 minutes. Then I'll take it out. We will test the temperature, make sure that it has reached 200 degrees, and then proceed from there. The pumpkin loaf is out of the oven. It's beautifully brown. It smells even better than it did at the par bake. I'm loving the way some of these are rising up off of the loaf. You can see right here, they're lifting. I think that's really neat. That's because I made sure that those scoring intersected at the top and it was a completely separate piece. when I was scoring. Alrighty, I'm going to check the temperature. This is something she advises. I think for this loaf, because it is a pumpkin loaf, it's super important. I'm just using a meat thermometer here. I checked online, you can do this. So, and she said it should go quickly up to 200 degrees. So, let's see. This loaf is not too much work. It's really delicious. It's especially good toasted with butter. My husband thinks it would be awesome with cinnamon sugar. It's just a super yummy loaf. You'll be so glad you made it. Yes, it shot right up there. It's already at 205, so this is fully baked. And now I'm going to put this on a rack and I'm going to let it cool, and then we'll come back and I'll remove that string with you. Are you ready to remove the string? This is the most satisfying part for me. I'm just going to lift it up here. I'm going to try and find a little give. There we go. Wherever I can. There we go. Take those ends away and come underneath and pull that out. Just do it with each one of them. It's still warm. It's not completely cool. I'd say it came out of the oven about half an hour ago or so, maybe 45 minutes. I love doing this. It's so satisfying. And sometimes you just got to give it a tug. Let's see, loosen it from here. I don't want to tear the score where it's connected, because then that can make the bready inside show. Now you can see right there where it's baked over it, so we're going to try and go around that if we can. To this side. Okay, I'll loosen it from the top here. Now it just pulls right out. And this should loosen up off the bottom. There is our beautiful loaf. Isn't that pretty? It did get pretty darn brown, like right here. One thing I will say is it is very easy to underbake a loaf of sourdough, but it's difficult to overbake it. So even though these are all pretty darn brown, it's not going to taste bad. It won't affect the taste of it, and you can just cut those parts off if you want to. But I think this is a really, really pretty loaf. Thank you very much for joining me to score this loaf of pumpkin spice sourdough. Please do take a look at Cider Press Lane's video that I'm going to connect below. And thank you very much for being here. Also, if you could squish the like button, as always, helps a bunch. Comment below. I love interacting with you. And subscribe if you like different types of videos about sourdough, mostly scoring. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye and be blessed.